We were young, we were foolish, we were drawn to the darkness. The old Victorian house stood on a hill overlooking the town. People whispered about it. They told stories of shadows moving within. They said it was haunted. We dared to find out.
It started as a dare, a challenge to spend the night in the house. We were paranormal investigators, or so we thought. Armed with cameras, EMF readers, and a whole lot of bravado, we set out to confront the unknown. Little did we know, the unknown was waiting for us.
The house loomed over us as we approached. The iron gates were rusted, the paint peeling. The windows, dark and hollow, watched us like the eyes of a predator. A shiver ran down my spine as we stepped onto the porch. The air grew heavy, thick with the weight of unseen eyes.
Inside, dust covered every surface. Cobwebs hung from the chandeliers. The air was stale, heavy with the scent of decay. It felt like stepping into the past, a past marked by tragedy and sorrow. Each creaking step, each gust of wind through the broken windows sent shivers down our spines.
We set up our equipment in the living room, our base of operations. The room was dimly lit, shadows dancing on the walls as we meticulously arranged our gear. Each piece of equipment was carefully placed, ensuring we covered every possible angle. Cameras were positioned to capture every angle. We wanted to make sure nothing escaped our watchful eyes, every corner of the room under surveillance. EMF readers crackled to life, their digital displays flickering with readings. The devices hummed softly, a constant reminder of the unseen energies around us. The atmosphere was thick with anticipation. Every creak of the floorboards, every rustle of the curtains heightened our senses. We exchanged nervous glances, each of us silently wondering what the night would bring. We were ready for anything, or so we thought. Our determination was palpable, but beneath the surface, a current of fear ran through us.
We started with a séance, our voices hushed in the darkness. The flickering candlelight cast eerie shadows on the walls, adding to the sense of unease. We called out to the spirits, inviting them to communicate. Our voices trembled slightly, the weight of the unknown pressing down on us. The room grew colder. The air crackled with static electricity. We could see our breath, a visible sign of the chilling presence around us. A cold spot formed near the fireplace. It was as if the warmth of the hearth was being sucked away by an unseen force. We felt a presence, unseen but undeniable. It was as if we were being watched, the hairs on the back of our necks standing on end. Fear started to creep into our hearts, whispering doubts in our minds. We tried to stay focused, but the sense of dread was overwhelming, making us question our resolve.
We decided to split up to cover more ground. 2 by 2 we ventured into the darkness, our flashlights cutting through the gloom. The silence was broken only by our own footsteps and the beating of our own hearts.
The house seemed to watch us, to toy with us. Floorboards creaked where no one stood. Shadows danced at the edge of our vision. The air grew colder as we descended into the basement, the heart of the house. The feeling of being watched intensified, sending shivers down our spines.
At the end of a long, dark hallway, we found it. The air was thick with an eerie silence, broken only by the creaking of the old wooden floorboards beneath our feet. Each step echoed, amplifying the sense of foreboding that hung in the air. An ornate mirror, its silver tarnished with age, stood before us. The intricate designs on its frame hinted at a time long past, a time when it might have been a centerpiece in a grand room. It hung above a fireplace, its surface reflecting nothing but darkness. The room around it seemed to fade away, leaving only the mirror and the void it held within.
Look, something's happening in the mirror. The glass seemed to ripple as if disturbed by an unseen force.
As we watched, a figure began to form in the glass. Slowly it took shape, emerging from the depths of the mirror like a memory coming into focus. A woman, pale and ethereal, stared back at us. Her presence was both haunting and mesmerizing, as if she were a ghost from another time. Her eyes filled with sadness and despair locked onto mine. They seemed to tell a story of loss and longing, a tale that transcended the boundaries of the mirror.
Who are you? The question hung in the air unanswered as the woman's gaze remained fixed on us.
She reached out, her hand passing through the glass as if it were water. The boundary between our world and hers seemed to dissolve in that moment.
Help me, please! Her voice was a soft, mournful plea, filled with a desperation that tugged at our hearts.
She spoke, her voice a mournful whisper, pleading for help. It was as if she were trapped, bound to the mirror by some unseen force. Terror, raw and primal, seized us. We were caught between the urge to flee and the compulsion to help, our hearts racing as the woman's sorrowful eyes bore into our souls. We ran. We didn't look back. The woman's screams echoed behind us, fueling our terror. The house seemed to come alive, the floorboards groaning under our weight, the walls closing in.
Keep running, don't stop.
The mirror shattered as we fled, shards of glass flying like shrapnel. We stumbled and fell, scrambling to our feet in a blind panic.
The doors are slamming shut. We're trapped.
Doors slammed shut, locking us in. Lights flickered and died, plunging us into darkness. The house was alive, and it was trying to keep us there forever. We burst out of the house, gasping for breath. The night air had never tasted so sweet. We had escaped, but we were forever changed. The house had taken its toll on us, leaving its mark on our souls.
Is everyone okay? We made it out.
We huddled together, our bodies trembling with fear and adrenaline. The events of the night replayed in our minds, each terrifying detail seared into our memories.
We had gone looking for ghosts and we had found them. The question was, had they found us too?
Back at our makeshift headquarters, we huddled around the audio recorder. Our hands shook as we pressed play. The silence was deafening.
Then a voice, faint but unmistakable.
The woman in the mirror.
"Help me," she whispered, her voice filled with despair. The sound sent chills down our spines, a tangible reminder of the terror we had experienced. We had the proof we came for, but at what cost? The voice on the recording was a chilling reminder that we had stumbled into something ancient, something powerful, and something we did not understand. We left the house behind, but the house never left us. The experience stayed with us, haunting our dreams, lurking in the shadows of our minds. We had looked into the abyss, and the abyss had looked back.
The fear lingered, a constant companion.
We jumped at shadows, startled by sudden noises.
Sleep offered no escape. Only nightmares of the woman in the mirror, her eyes pleading for help, her voice a mournful whisper in the darkness. We were forever marked by our encounter, forever changed by the horrors we had witnessed. We vowed never to return to the house. It was a place of darkness, a place of sorrow, a place where the veil between this world and the next was thin. We had tempted fate, and we had paid the price.
The house on the hill remained, a silent sentinel overlooking the town.
People still whispered about it, but we knew the truth.
We had seen the darkness that lurked within, the pain and suffering that clung to its walls. We knew that some doors are best left unopened, some secrets best left buried.
But even now, years later, I sometimes wake in the night, cold sweat clinging to my skin. The memories of that dreadful night are etched into my mind, refusing to fade away. Every creak of the floorboards, every rustle of the wind outside my window brings back the terror I felt. I see her face, the woman in the mirror, her eyes burning into mine. Those eyes, filled with sorrow and anger, haunt me. They seem to follow me wherever I go, a constant reminder of the night I first saw her. I hear her voice, a mournful whisper in the darkness. It's a voice that chills me to the bone. A voice that seems to come from the very walls of my home. Sometimes I think I can make out words, pleas for help, cries of despair, and I know with chilling certainty that the haunting is far from over. The house, with its dark history and malevolent presence, still holds power over me. It's as if the very air around it is charged with a sinister energy.
The experience taught us a valuable lesson, one we would never forget. It showed us the thin veil between our world and the unknown, a veil that can be pierced with dire consequences. There are some places where curiosity can kill. The house on the hill was one of them. It stood there abandoned and forgotten, yet it held secrets that were better left undisturbed. The house on the hill was one of them. Its silhouette against the night sky was a constant reminder of the horrors that lay within. It was a place where the past refused to rest, where the spirits of the departed lingered. And the woman in the mirror? She's still waiting for someone to acknowledge her pain, to understand her suffering. Her presence is a constant, eerie reminder of the unfinished business that binds her to this world, waiting for someone, anyone, to help her find peace. Her sorrow is palpable, her longing evident in every glance. She is trapped, caught between worlds, yearning for release. But I, for one, will never answer her call again. The fear and the memories are too much to bear. I have learned to live with the haunting, but I will never seek to confront it again. The house, the woman, the whispers, they are all part of a past I wish to forget.